Welcome to we don't have a name yet.
We said the comfy
couch.
The Comfy Couch podcast because we are not.
We can always
couch.
rebrand, but we got a name.
Yeah, I guess. My name is SheisClarkeJones. Hi.
I'm Anna. Hey.
And I'm Shanice.
I am weak.
Greetings.
It'll get better.
We come
I
in
promise
peace.
you. It'll get better. We're gonna start doing this podcasting thing. We will see how it all goes. Yeah, and people are always like, what is it going to be about? It's about everything and nothing all at the same time, if you ask me. So we got topics. We'll run through them, recap the week, have our little segments. Maybe. We'll see. We're building, okay? And I would rather not have to be perfect when I build. I'm going to just build as we go, okay? So if you see something new next week, you'll be like, wait a minute. That's because we're building.
And if the name changes next week, that's because we're building.
There you go.
The building podcast.
You're watching the process.
Right.
There we go. How was everyone's week?
It was good. I mean, trying to be a little healthier, do a little meal prep. Work is getting their money's worth out of me. It was good.
What did you meal prep this week?
I did some ground turkey, with kind of a deconstructed stuffed pepper, but spicier.
Okay.
And then I did turkey meatballs.
Wait, I did a stuffed pepper this week too.
Well, I didn't stuff the peppers. I just
ate the filling.
Yeah.
That was my meal prep this week.
So were there stuffed peppers involved?
But
no, the peppers were in it, but just not.
I did have some. I didn't eat the stuffed peppers, but I made some stuffed peppers for the rest of my family and ate the filling.
Yeah.
That was my whole meal prep this week, was just the filling.
Okay. The filling is always good.
Yeah.
But why not the peppers?
I just didn't get enough peppers, and I was okay with eating just the filling. Why not for you?
Well, I was making this before it became my stuffed pepper. It was my meal prep back when we were doing that diet. This is where this originated from. And then I was like, I wonder what this would taste like as a stuffed pepper. And it was delicious. Well, of course, I added more seasoning and stuff because it wasn't a diet anymore for the stuffed peppers. But yeah.
Did you add rice and stuff too?
No, it was literally just ground turkey and vegetables.
Very nice.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying.
Mine had rice in it.
Right. I was going to say mine would have had rice in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch the carbs because, I'm a rice girl. So
Yes.
I didn't really have a lot of rice. I did have... this is going to sound so bad, but I had 2 tablespoons of rice with my meatball.
Did you measure out 2 tablespoons?
No, it was just excess rice because I was meal prepping with someone. So they got majority of the rice. And then it was just this little bit left. I said, we're not going to let this go to waste. So I just split it up amongst 3 bowls.
3
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that, and then I had chicken and broccoli. So I was eating 4 meals a day. Egg bites, the ground turkey, the meatballs, and the chicken.
Love that. Mm-hmm. Did you have snacks?
No.
Okay, so that sustained you for the day.
Yeah.
Those 4. I mean, it's 4 meals, so it's kind of
and high protein.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that's what, because it was 4 and 5 ounces each of protein, other than the egg whites, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I started eating that with not ground turkey, the chicken sausage from Trader Joe's. Okay. So it was a high protein week, which I feel is good.
Yeah.
And I felt I didn't feel after I got used to it, because, at first it's ugh, I want a Big Mac. I don't even eat Big Macs like that, but it was just I was craving something that I wasn't supposed to have.
Yeah.
And then once I got used to it, it was okay. I want for nothing. And I could clean. All the dishes were already handled. All I had to do was pull it out of the refrigerator. I had to think about what I was eating that day. I said, we might be onto something with meal prepping.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
You don't have to worry about what you're eating every night. It's already there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
Love that for you.
yeah. This week I cheated though. I bought all prepared stuff pretty much. I'm like, look, I don't feel like cooking.
Listen, you did the darn thing. You got through the week. Right. You didn't go get a Big Mac. Right. We're counting that as a win.
Right. A win is a win. So
A win is a win.
yeah. What about you? What did you meal prep? And how was your week? Sorry, I feel like we got on.
Oh, did you say how your week was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My week was good. I was working all week. But yeah, meal prepped. I made juices this week, which I haven't made juices in a while. And y'all know I love my juices, but it's been a minute. So I made my juice. That was very nice. For my meal prep, I had the stuffed pepper, like filling, like this green bean and mushroom potato steak mix. It was like a one sheet pan, you know?
Okay.
It actually was pretty good. I feel like the steak I would like sear first and then, you know.
Get a nice
crisp and maybe separately because I wish my potatoes, I did boil them ahead of time, but they still could have been just a little, I like mine soft. So yeah, and then there had to be another meal. Because I made like a breakfast casserole.
Okay, I was like, how many meals are you supposed to make? How many meals do you usually do?
3. So I have like my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I did my breakfast was the casserole, which is just like the eggs, sausage, stuff like that. And then it was the stuffing, like filling for lunch, and then the steak bowl for dinner.
Okay.
So that was good. I was going to make some shrimp fried rice as like just a meal prep meal this week to have, but I didn't because I couldn't make it all on Monday. And then I never got around to it. But thankfully, the food lasted most of the week. Okay. And yeah, I'll have it for this week to make.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, other than that, it's been good. How was your week?
Right. How was yours?
Mine was good. I did juice. Yeah, I started juicing period weeks. So because like that really helps.
Yeah.
Doing that with the castor oil actually does help. So it's like beet juice with carrots, ginger, and pineapple.
Love that.
And like all week when I used the bathroom, everything was always red. And so that was fun. Scared me a little bit. I was like, wait a minute. And then I was like, I ate beets. So that was I don't know. I feel like I've been tired all week. Like I've been working, and I have been my mom with her project, and then it's been a busy week. But today was like my only off day. But it's been good. It's been good.
Good.
It was just busy, and I feel like my period coming on made it more tired.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I felt like I was really just
both
like
on their periods right now.
Yeah.
I came in yesterday. It was probably about 7:00. I went to bed. I was
That sounds like love, though. I love that.
It was until you wake up at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and now you just
go back to sleep.
right.
Yeah.
And that happened to me the other day. I was sleeping. I went to bed early. I think I took a nap during the day. I was asleep all day, and then I was up probably from like. I think I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was up the rest of the day. What did you do at 3 a.m., Clarke? I listened to Tori's new album.
Okay.
I had to, from prison. If you have not heard it.
I have not yet.
Let me tell you something. That man's producer, engineer, they all deserve every dime they are getting. Because you would not know that was... Yeah, and it was all recorded on the jail's phone. The whole album was recorded on the jail phone. Look at you.
On the jail phone. You know?
You didn't know this. Y'all didn't know this. Y'all thought he was just
deserves a
releasing
Grammy.
like unreleased music. No, this was all recorded on the jail phone.
I didn't think it was unreleased music.
I just didn't think of how it was
Right.
being
I'm
recorded.
thinking maybe they're meeting at visits or something. I don't know.
They brought the mic
Right.
in.
They said, all right, go ahead. Okay. You got 30 minutes.
Right?
It was
Keep
a one
going.
take. It was
Keep
a one
right,
take.
right.
All right, we got it. We got. See you next week. Like that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's literally
Not
the
over
phone.
the phone.
That's wild. I like that.
Right.
I'm digging
I have a little bit of appreciation for that. I cannot lie, but
That's wild.
Yes. Please listen. Please listen. Yeah. It's just it's one big journal. And I appreciate vulnerability. Like people who are my favorite artists, that is why they're my favorite artists, because of the vulnerability. Because when you listen, you know exactly what happened last Tuesday, who had them fucked up. Like, you know every single thing. And that is, I like being able to hear people's human experiences through their music. And like that makes it relatable. And so when you can feel somebody's soul through their music, it's like, I want to cry. Like, yeah. And so, yeah, it's really good. I want y'all to all listen to it and, see how that feels. I'm not going to touch on that. Anyway.
Go ahead.
right.
It's okay. It's okay.
Let's get it started.
Right. We both know where this was going, basically.
I did watch Megan's documentary after.
Okay.
Because I hadn't watched it.
Okay. I was about to say, there's not a new one, right?
No,
Okay.
I hadn't watched it.
I still haven't watched it.
I haven't.
And I was like, you know what? Because I am we might end up cutting this depending on how deep I get. Because I be getting a little passionate. But,
That's fine. We can always
right.
cut shop.
Right.
right. I'm a principal girl. And it needs to be justice. Everything needs to equal justice. And so with that being said, I listen to all sides. I know a lot of people think because I am a Tory Lanez fan, and I have been for years, that I'm just immediately like, boom. But
She is.
I listen
Definitely.
to everything. I feel like you have to listen to everything. And you have to be open-minded so that you can hear all sides. Because if you're not trying to hear all sides, you don't need to have an opinion.
You can also hear all sides and still have bias.
Which is true. Which is true. But if some people don't listen to all sides at all,
Well, yeah,
they just be
yeah.
like, I'm a fan of this person, and I don't care what that person's saying, and I believe whatever they say out of their
Well,
mouth.
that's me with Drake. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody got to say on the other side. All right.
and that is okay.
However, in the Tory Meg situation, I like both, so
Right.
I'm gonna pay attention to
To both sides.
or
Right.
hear both sides out.
And just being that I'm an objective person and I want to be able to make the best opinion with all the information, I listen to all sides as well. So even when it all first started, I listened every time she got on live. I was watching her lives. Every time he got on live, I was watching his lives. When he did an interview, I listened. When she did, I listened to everything because I'm like, you gotta hear it all so you can make a very clear. And you might not be able to make a clear decision, but at least you have all the information and you're able to say, you know what? I don't know. Or this is how I feel or whatever with all the gathered information. And so with that being said, after listening to him, I went and watched hers. Didn't finish it yet because I had to get up and start my day. But
We're waiting.
we'll do a whole episode of me breaking this down because I could really break all this down. And I don't want to wait I don't want to give it that much time today. So, but just now I listened to everything, and
She's not a fan of Meg anymore.
no, I am.
I'm just joking.
And that's what makes me sad, to be honest, because I really do. Even as I was watching the documentary, I was like, oh my God. I remember I first heard her outside of her music during the lip service, when she did her episode on lip service with Angela Yee. And I remember her mom was there, and I was like, oh my God, who is this girl? And I was listening. And then when her mom passed away, I was really sad for her because I remember that interview and her mom being at the interview. And I was like, oh, dang, I know she probably sad as hell. You know these people. You listen to a lot of their stuff. And so even with her music, because she was an Aquarius, I was like, I always like what she's saying. And so it's really hard. But you just want to make sure, I want to make sure that everybody is treated just. And I know we live in a world where people just like to point the finger and blame. And this system don't care who did what and actually did it. They just like to be like, oh, we found somebody guilty. Here you go. Go sit in jail. Like there's
have an answer for something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether it's the right answer or the wrong answer.
Exactly.
They just need to something.
Exactly.
Someone.
Just to make people feel good and to make it look like they did a job, they will just be like, oh, we got somebody behind bars. And there's a lot of innocent people who just get locked up just so they can say they have somebody. And when cases like that, there's a lot. But yeah, listen to the album. That's all I got to say. Listen to the album. Where's your phone? Let me see.
Keep it.
Humans. I tell you, boy. Okay.
If you delirious out there.
Delusional.
I wish I could tell y'all this story, but I know too many people that we know personally is on listen. So
Literally.
I wish I could tell you the story. I really do.
It's okay.
Delusion.
I don't even know the story yet.
Right. I mean, it's not anything
No.
like you
Yeah.
know. But
No, that's why I was just like, it's okay.
But it's just like I had a diss track written about me. About me and my child's father.
Somebody take this mic away.
Yo. Yeah. It wasn't really that bad. It's just there was 2 songs.
Of course. There's never just one.
And one is like, oh, your baby daddy is like, I don't even remember what he said. It was like
shit talking.
Yeah, that's
it.
specifically. And
Is this out on like Apple Music?
I wondered the same thing. I doubt it. I don't know.
Said, is it on Apple Music?
But I'm
Defamation.
like, and then right. And then the first one is like, you did me dirty, and then it's like, oh, you I guess talk about like you hurt my feelings because you had a baby, da da da. But you did the whole song's about you did me dirty. I said, sir, in what world? Where?
Right.
The same world where you're engaged.
Right. Delusion is real.
That's why I say I'm just glad I have my friends and everybody on my side of the world knows the real. But it's funny because people can be a little delusional sometimes. And have y'all ever had an experience where like you know the story of what happened, right? Mm-hmm. But the other person involved has told their friends and family a completely different version that doesn't make them look bad, like the bad guy. And then you have to sit with the fact that, dang, part of the world views me the way that they painted the picture, but that's not really what happened. Have you ever had that happen?
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Honestly,
having to sit with it is crazy.
I hope we cut this. Because it's something about when people get a mic and it's just like, why is it that my part of your life gets aired out? And it's not even in a bad way, but it's just like, why do you keep mentioning, yeah, I broke up with her. I broke up. Like, why? Why do you keep saying that?
Is that the narrative?
That's the narrative.
That's the narrative?
That's the narrative.
I can't. Now, you have experienced it.
That's the narrative. And it's just like, wow, yes, you were the final, like, blow, but the whole reason the conversation started was because of me, and I just kept going back on my word. And then you finally were like, but the story that's been told multiple times on that platform is they walked away from me. So yeah, that's why. And I'm like, and now it's not even just your friends. It's now anyone that listens. I mean, anyone that listens to the podcast gets that view.
So interesting.
Yeah.
How do we
not that
here?
I listen.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Oh Like,
Well, how do we get here?
you got a text message.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah.
That says a lot there, doesn't it?
Oh my
All
goodness.
right.
No, but the world really is delusional. And it's funny because, you know, as we were talking about this earlier, I said, what if we've listened to all these Drake songs and Drake is like always talking about these girls and how they did him wrong? And what if he's delusional?
Because Clarke and I will always have this conversation like, how are these girls fumbling Drake? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
all of y'all? Like, how?
Right. And
Why?
every album, it's new girls. And I'm like, there's no way
But today gave us confirmation.
that the side of the story that he's giving us might be like,
It's definitely not all them girls. I'm gonna tell you that.
yeah. I don't.
Yeah. They're not in the wrong every time.
They can't be.
Can't be.
Can't be.
No.
I know there's a girl out there somewhere like Drake. Now you know.
Literally.
Sitting there listening
Go
like,
ahead.
I wish I could air everything out right now.
Yo,
She about to make a diss track.
girl.
Could you imagine if during the whole Kendrick Lamar thing, like all the side pieces or like all the previous girls of Drake were like, and actually, I want to clear my name because this man talk about fuck my ex. Actually, sir, fuck you.
Right.
Oh my god, and that reminds me. The Gorgeous Doll.
Yes.
With Future, have you been seeing this on
No.
TikTok?
No.
The girl that's like airing out Future.
Yeah.
And her
No.
relation. Oh, you gotta. It's
Yo.
well, he took down her page.
Yeah. But I think she made a new one. No.
did.
She said she erased it herself, and then I think she bought it back. I can't keep up. But
I can't either.
she was basically
It's
saying how she's been around for the past 5 years, and they went to
She had multiple
Vegas.
stories.
Yes, she had so many stories, like multiple stories about them going to Vegas, her walking in on him having an orgy while he flew her out there. There's so many things. And then she called him and he picked up the phone like, I don't know you, bro. Like, I don't know.
On the first ring.
Stop.
You don't know her, but you picked up on the first ring yelling. You know exactly who this is.
Yeah. And then said gorgeous. I don't know you, gorgeous.
Yo.
I say, yo, it's crazy. But anyway, I say that to say she was like, he got the wrong one. Cause you keep going, I'm gonna keep going. You keep going. She
Yeah,
said,
she's
I'm not stopping. Like she
adding
said, all you
fuel
had to
to
do
fire.
was apologize, but you don't want to apologize, so I'm gonna keep going. I was like, oh god, this is not gonna end well.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
I must be living under a rock, but this is tea. I love it.
I saw someone else post it first, and I was like, oh, I got to remember to go back to that. And then Clarke sent it to me. She was like, you got to see this. And I was like, I've been meaning to get back to this.
Girl.
Like, yeah. Funny, though.
Yes.
She's hilarious to me. I will say that.
Okay. I'm going to definitely have to check that out.
Please, it's
I just like people who are like kind of crazy but like they truly believe what they're saying. Like
Yeah.
they're in it, and it's just like you are authentically you. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like I'm very like what's the word,
Cautious?
cautious. Tame, like
Yeah.
reserved, like
Yeah.
or, there's another word I'm thinking of, anyway, where I'm just like hyper aware of everything I say and what I do, and like, oh my gosh, like how is this going to be perceived, and
Yeah.
I don't want to be misunderstood
Yeah.
or received wrong, and it's like to be up on TikTok like this is what happened. I don't give a rat's. Like,
Yeah.
love that for you.
Yeah.
I really honestly do.
Yes. No, I could definitely appreciate people like that. Like people just living life.
Yeah.
Like
and don't care.
right.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people. There's this one girl that I follow. This is a tangent, sorry. But there's this one girl that I follow that sells wigs and like does hair. She was just like, she made these posts and she was trying to be like, her family was like, be more yourself, like just post, da da da. And then she made another post after making like a post. She made another post and was just like, you know, it's just weird to be perceived and da da da. And I was like, wow, like no, that's real. And I think that's what takes away from a lot of people. Not takes away, but it's just like
Prevents a lot of
yeah, because I'm definitely that. Look,
even on here, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I say the
Right.
wrong thing, or like, what
Literally.
is everyone?
Right.
cut it off.
And you
cut it
never
off.
know what people's are like previous perspective of you
Right.
is. So it's
Yeah.
like, are you feeding into the incorrect narrative that they have about you,
Yeah.
or are you change? You know, it's so many things, and you have to be able to let it all go in the back and fade away. Like, y'all don't know me. Like, why am I concerned about y'all
Yeah.
having the correct perception?
And if you do know me,
and if you do know me, this is not you
Yeah.
don't have a problem with anything. I'm
Right.
saying. You know
Right.
me.
Right.
And you're in my life, and you want to be here. You
Right.
know, so it's like, if we could always just look at things like that, it
Yeah.
would be so much
Yeah.
simpler, I guess. But
yeah. But I do love that. I love when people can be authentically them.
Themselves. No shame.
yeah,
Like, you know what? But then it's like, as we were talking earlier, and I feel like we've had this too. Whenever I start talking, I feel like I got to give you the whole backstory, everything. Because if I give you this piece, but don't give you that piece, you're not going to fully understand. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh my, now I'm thinking like an hour later, like, damn, I never told them the backstory. Now they don't get it. They don't get it. Like, and I'm like, next time I see them, I
gotta remember to say that one thing that I forgot.
And then I'm like, I gotta get past that, cause girl, it don't matter. Then I feel like I don't need to tell nobody nothing, cause if you don't know all of it, I can't just tell you this corner. So
no point in telling you anything at
Can't
all.
tell you nothing.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I feel like if I forget to tell somebody one piece, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Am I a liar now? Because
Did I lie?
I forgot to like. What did that subconsciously, intentionally happen?
Right. Did I omit something that I should have told them?
Right. Did that paint me in a better light? Like, did that make
Yeah.
the situation seem better?
All of that.
Yeah.
So therefore, I just shouldn't talk to nobody. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, have a podcast.
right.
Right. 3 people that think like that trying to talk on a podcast and put it out for the world. Right.
It's okay, because if you watch it over time, you'll eventually learn. And that's what I think that's what it comes down to. It's like you said, if you know me, then you'll be like, oh, okay, that's just one side, or that's this. That you learn how people talk, like you learn how their minds work. And plus you gotta give grace.
Yeah.
Because who I am today is not who I'm gonna be 10 minutes from now. So
That part.
you
That
feel
part.
me? Like, so I guess I gotta learn how to give myself grace.
That
You
part.
give yourself grace, and everybody else will give you grace, hopefully. Because if
And
y'all
if
want
they
some fucking
don't,
grace,
it's okay.
right?
Because you know what? The Lord is my savior.
Okay. You weren't meant for me anyway.
Right.
Goodbye.
Move along.
Move out the way. Move aside.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I had this conversation yesterday, and I was like, let me see how they feel. This is perfect timing. This is one of my clients. So we were talking about exes, and how did we start talking about it? So, okay, something about attention. He was saying how less attractive girls need less attention because they aren't used to getting attention. Let me restart. Okay. Pretty girls.
Right. Let me get myself ready for this. Because where are we going?
Let me see what I have written down. God damn it. Okay.
18. I was like, oh, don't say it, but I'm like, we can cut it out.
Yeah.
Let me make sure. Okay. Okay. This is what I have written down. Guys will talk to the pretty girl, but not wife her because she gets too much attention. They would rather marry an average girl because pretty girls require so much attention simply because we're used to getting attention. The less attractive girls don't require all of that because they're not used to it. And I equated it in my brain to similar to when girls say they like their guys medium ugly because he's not going to be getting all that attention from girls. So like there's kind of less, I don't want to say competition, but less distraction maybe for said person. But it was funny. I was telling him, I was like, but I feel like I require attention because I like attention. Like, I just like affection. I just like that from my person. And he was like,
how do you know you like it? Because you've gotten it.
that's what he said. He was like, but you like it because you get it. And I told him, I said,
Are
but.
you the ops?
But like I told him, I said, but okay, let's say I walk out in these streets and I be getting attention. He was like, you're used to getting attention, so any man coming to you will have to give you attention. I said, yeah, but I actually don't even like to be, I don't like attention like that. Like, I don't need to be out in the streets and just be like, oh my God, Clarke, I don't
But
need
that's not
that.
No, but some people don't even get the level of attention that you get. Mm-hmm. So, like, to you, it seems like nothing. To someone else, it might seem like, oh my gosh, you get a ton of attention.
Yeah, but that's not why I like affection. Like, I don't see the correlation between me. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Getting a lot of attention.
Me
and needing
wanting,
a lot.
me liking affection and liking my man to be up my ass. I don't see the correlation between that and the attention I get in the streets. Like, just because I get attention in the streets, I don't like. That's not why I need attention in my house.
Yeah. Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
I get that.
Yeah.
So, but in his brain, he was like, there's a correlation between you being pretty, you getting attention, and you needing other people to keep your attention too. He was like, ugly girls or less attractive girls, they're not getting attention. That's why you don't have to give them a lot of attention because they're not used to getting attention anyway. So, and I was like...
But then it's also like, well, if they aren't used to it, then maybe they want
More of it, right?
Because from their partner, they don't get it outside.
And
so
if anything, they deserve it regardless.
But it's like, if you're someone who's not getting a lot of external attention, like outside, then it's like, at home with my man, I do want a lot of attention. I would, like, to me, that would make sense. And if you do get a lot of attention at home, it's like, outside, then it's like, of course you're going to want your man to give you attention, but if he not, he can go on elsewhere because I got options,
Right. Like, I get more attention at the gas station than I do get at home.
Then I get at home, you
that's
can
a problem.
go.
Right.
Because if you don't want to be here, sir, you don't have to be here. Like, and
Forcing you.
thank you. And then we got on the thing of like, he was saying how like, well, pretty girls, y'all have a lot of options, which means y'all are less likely to grab onto any. Your quality is higher because like you have the ability to be like, no, yes. You know what I'm saying? He was like, but the other girls, which is clearly like people who don't get attention, he's like, they're more likely to just grab onto anybody because they don't get attention.
That's, I think, everyone.
I think pretty
But
girls
is it?
can be with some pretty not so great guys also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't even think, I think it's just,
I don't know
it's
why.
because,
But then that boils down to confidence. To me,
yes,
it all
that's
comes
what I
down
was
to
going
confidence.
to get to, is the confidence part. Because you could be the prettiest girl in the world, but if you don't know you're the prettiest girl in the world, you going to end up with somebody who doesn't.
That part.
Just because you think you got to settle because,
Right.
oh, he's cute and I don't think I'm cute, so I need to get him because no other cute guy might like
Not
me.
knowing your worth,
Thank
not knowing your
you.
value, not having self-confidence.
Yeah.
Like,
So I want to circle back to, because when you first started saying this, Clarke, I was like, if you're lazy, just say that. Because
no, seriously,
like,
actually.
That part, if you don't want to, then don't. But don't be like, oh, you know what, you require too much. I need to go over here because she don't require a lot, and I know that she's just gonna accept whatever I give her.
Great,
take the door to exit, please.
Please.
Because it's not. I feel like this is what I hate, is that hate is a strong word, but I strongly dislike when I feel like men especially try to just like group women in that kind of way. And it's just like, people in general are very complex. So just as long as you're with the person that you deserve and that person also deserves you, like, that's all that really matters. But like, if you're sitting here saying like you don't go after pretty girls because of X, Y, and Z, like, if I were to say I like my people medium ugly, it's because I just like my people medium ugly.
Right.
Because it's not because I don't think I can get a fine
or I think that they're gonna leave me if I get them.
just,
like, no.
Okay, I like.
Where you going?
Right. Like, I don't know. I'm the bad bee in this relationship. I don't know. Like, it's for whatever reason, but it's just, I hate when it's so generalized because it's really not that. Because I'm like, pretty girls can get attention, but pretty girls can also experience some really harsh stuff in the world because people think that you have to cut down a pretty girl.
Let's talk about that for a second, please. The fact that if you're pretty, the people will sometimes try, if you're pretty or you have a good personality, don't let you have both now.
Right.
Because people will literally try, especially men, but women will too, try to like belittle you, try to bring you down a notch because they think they think that you're here and you need to be brought here. Like I've had a guy, one in particular that I can remember, but there's, guys always have their own little comments. You can easily weed them out. Like what they say, like, oh, you're intimidated by pretty women or you're like, insecure. But he was like, he should just always make like certain comments. And I was like, you're intentionally trying to like belittle me because you think I'm up here and you need to make me come down here so I can meet your level so that I'd be interested in you. And now you're making me uninterested in you because I know my worth and I am very confident. So now I don't like you anymore.
Right.
But you can still cook me this meal.
Yeah, I feel like it's not, and I feel like that's just a very blanketed statement with like pretty girls require a lot of attention. And it's just like, there's also a lot of pretty girls who just want to be in the house and unbothered.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's why I kept getting to him like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know. Because then he was like, he used himself as an example. He was like, I like attention. So that means like, you got to be able to match the level. And I'm like, But see, my brain don't work that way. Like I said, just because I get attention in the streets doesn't mean.
Well, you do. Well, yeah. I'm like, it's like I can see both sides of it.
I can see where he's coming from. I just don't
because
see.
Like if you get attention,
you're not getting it from your person, then it's like a
you're gonna require that from the person you're with. If you have confidence and you get attention, like because we already discussed someone who doesn't have confidence and will accept less, but I think if you do get attention and you know what you can pull, like I'm not accepting anything.
Well, yeah, but that's just that's a
off
given.
rip.
Yeah, it's like I want attention because I like attention, like from my person. You get what I'm saying? Like whoever's with me, why are you here if you don't want to be up my ass? I'm confused. So it's like, however, I don't require this from you just because this is what I get from people in the streets. Like, it's not like everybody needs to fight for my attention. Like, it's not like that. No. And that's what he was trying to say. He's like, people you get are fighting for your attention because you get attention in the street. So it's like they have to be able to match at home what you get in the street. You get what I'm saying?
And that's an insecurity on his part.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that's exactly how he meant it or that he just couldn't articulate himself well.
Either way, it just didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, to me, it just came down to confidence.
Point. Yeah.
I can see the point.
I can see the point making sense.
I see the point
depending on how we're.
But then it was interesting because I told him, because he was like, pretty girls. He was like, we'll approach y'all, but nobody's gonna wife y'all because y'all get too much attention.
So
and
there's a lot of wife pretty girls.
Literally, I see them I know them in person.
Day.
Right.
And then it kept in my brain. I was just like, confidence. This is the confidence thing.
Yeah.
Like,
as long as both people are secure, the attention factor doesn't really matter as long as the attention factor is present if that person needs attention.
And you gotta know your person. Like, if you know you dating an attention whore,
and you're not giving
it's not gonna matter if you give them all the attention in the world. As soon as they step outside of the house, they still want attention. Just be very clear about that.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You're dating an attention whore. That means they want attention from any and everybody.
Matter.
They don't even care who it is. Like, I am not an attention whore. Like, I want attention from my person. Like, I want you. Right. Like, the attention I don't care nothing about that.
Yeah, that's big facts.
But, because he was like, have you ever cheated? I was like, no. He was like, oh, so you different. I'm like, wait a minute. You're trying to think. It's a numbers game. Like, because you have all these people coming at you, that means you're more like.
Not have you ever cheated and you're different. You know what? We need to change the subject because we can't even take this question from him. His brain is different.
When I'm in a relationship, but he said this is guy logic. I was like,
I'll have to ask him.
Yeah, we might have to have a guy break this down because I wouldn't be surprised if multiple guys feel this way. But
you're too pretty.
I do get the vibe that some guys will not like because it makes no sense to me. During us like being single, going to the club, and you're seeing people stare at you, and you don't get approached.
Okay, so I had someone slide into my DMs recently, and it's like an old person. Now,
yikes!
Not somebody that we didn't talk. Like, no.
It's the sound bit. Yikes!
Right. not somebody that I talked to. It was just somebody I was cool with. Like me and Brittany hung out with him and his brother once or twice. But so he slid into my DMs on some, are you still in Raleigh? And I was like, I already know where this is about to go. And I was like, yes. And I knew it was about to be a whole bunch of small talk. And if you know me, I don't like small talk. Like, hit my phone, say what the fuck you need, and leave. Like, I don't, how are you? How's life? I don't care about none of that. Like, pleasantries are not needed with me. What do you want?
Let me just side note that right quick. I text this girl, how are you doing this week? I'm fine. I be like, I know she didn't say it like that. So pretend in your mind she didn't say it like that. It'd be 2 words. I'm fine.
And it's all lowercase.
All lowercase.
No exclamation
No
point.
emojis, no nothing.
Period, nothing.
I'd be like, okay, she didn't say it like that. And she said, I'm fine. But in my head, I hear, I'm fine. Leave me alone and don't ever talk to me.
It's literally like a, I'm fine. Like, there's
Right.
no emotion behind it.
Anyway, I just had to throw that in to justify what she was saying.
And here's the thing, I knew as soon as I said that message, she was going to feel that way. But there's nothing else I can do about it. So I was like, whatever happens, happens.
I said, it's fine, whatever.
And that's literally how I said it. I was like, I'm fine.
I know how you said it, Clarke. I want more.
Send a voice memo next time.
I'm gonna start doing it.
Yes,
I have to start
that would
doing
be
it.
great.
Because the way people clearly be thinking I got a problem is wild.
I didn't think she had a
No,
problem.
but it's not even just you. I just know that because I'm so simple when it comes to text sometimes. Like, sometimes I'll write a whole paragraph and I'll explain my whole life story. And then other times,
I like that, Clarke.
I'll be like, yes. Okay. Like, anywho, so he slid in my DMs and again, he was like, are you still in Raleigh? And I was like, yeah. And then I said, look, I'm not even trying to be rude, but what's up? Like, what you need? I don't like small talk. And he was like, you ain't never like small talk. Yeah, you still small talk to me. I'm confused. Like, what do you want, sir? So anyway, he was going through like, I thought about the times that we chilled, we vibed, it was really always fun, and, just wanted your energy around again. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, that's so sweet. But I was like, no. Like, people just want my energy around. Like, you don't.
Yeah,
They
that's
really
where my brain went. Like, you just want me because of the energy I bring.
What are you doing for me?
Right.
But see, I think it took all of us a long time to get to that point, like where you actually are like, no, I'm not just giving, like, not energy in a bad way, but just like spending time or responding to you or whatever. It's just like, you ain't doing nothing for me.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
You like my energy. I don't like yours.
Right. And I feel like a moment that clicked for me, my sister recently said this. She was just like, we had fun because I was fun, not because we were fun together. We had fun because I planned this date. I took you on a hike. We had fun because I am fun, not because you and I are fun. And
No,
I was
that's
just
a
like,
good point.
that's
Good
crazy.
point.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Your sister said that?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
and when
that
she
too.
said that, like, clearly it stuck with me, but I'm just like, no, that's so real, because I feel like as women, of course, we always romanticize things, or like, oh, wow, that was so great. But then if you really were to look back, it's just like, did you have fun as a whole, or was this a one-sided type of fun?
No, but that is a good point. There are a lot of people in this world who, like you said, they like your energy, but I don't necessarily like your energy didn't bring anything to my life. It was a cool moment.
Yeah.
We had a great moment. We had a great session chilling, but do I now need to bring that into my life and make you like a reoccurring thing? No.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, like you said, they like your energy, so now you're thinking you had fun, and you're like, actually, we wouldn't have had fun if I didn't.
If I wasn't there.
Right.
Right.
Because I could do this anywhere by myself.
Right.
And,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or with other fun people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just, and it's interesting because I had a friend that I was friends with back in Greenville, and me and her kind of fell off, and then she hit me up recently with a very accountable message, and she was like, when we were friends, I feel like I just wasn't in a place to be a good friend, and I had a lot of baggage, and now I'm done with that baggage, and I would really like to rekindle our friendship if you are welcome to doing, or if you are open to doing that. And I was like, I love the accountability. Number one, I love the self-awareness. Number two, And, you know, I was telling my parents about this, and my dad was like, y'all are getting to the age where you're thinking back on your life, intimate relationships, platonic relationships, anything, and you're thinking about who you had good times with, who made you feel good, like who, even in every level, and you're circling the block. Like, people are trying to circle the block and figure out who's still available, who they actually like you was actually a really good person, I really vibe with you. And so I was like, I appreciate that. But no, people need to stay the fuck gone. Her, yes. I like her.
I was like, well, there's that.
No.
Well, that
Her,
took a turn.
Oh.
I'm glad we were on the same page, because I was just like,
no, I realized my brain was jumping around. You know how you say half of the conversation internal and then the other half external? But I say that to say there have been, like, people have slid in my DMs and stuff recently and, like, trying to, like, oh, you know, I really liked your energy. Whenever we hung out, it was great times. And I'm like, no. Y'all could stay gone. But her, I really did rock with her friendship. So me and her, like, we're back good. But, yeah. I'm good on the energy. We're trying to recircle. Because I just realized people just like your energy. And they just want to suck your energy. And I ain't got time for that.
yeah.
Right.
And sometimes it's just easy.
Yeah, familiar.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Right, literally. And it's just like, everything happens for a reason. And if you look back and you can't remember what that reason is, that's one thing if you, like, retread. But if you know why that ended and you can clearly say, like, and I feel like I'm learning this right now and, like, practicing this right now too. It's just like, no. Because I feel like I have a hard time letting things be. But it's like,
She
no.
does.
It just needs to be. Like, it just needs to be. And that's really what I feel like is it. I don't know.
No, I love that because I feel like it takes a very long time to be able to get to a place where you're like, I can let things be. Even like when circling back to what I was saying earlier about like the narrative that people say about you or whatever, like to be able to let that be, especially as a person that doesn't like to be misunderstood or perceived incorrectly, it's like, oh gosh, I have to let that be. But you learn to do that not only just with how people perceive you, but just in everything, like friendships, relationships, everything. It's like, are these people bringing into my life what I need?
Yeah.
Do I resonate with these relationships and this, like all of the things? And I think it's I think it's good to reevaluate that and always like self-reflect and be like, where am I currently? The thing I would say that I love about my current friendships, as in y'all and everyone else that's currently in my life, is I feel like we allow each other space to change and grow and change our mind. And that's, I think, an important part of friendship too. Anyway, I don't know how I got on the whole friendship thing.
But it's even because we were talking about the retread. Like, because it's even within, like, I feel like retreading platonically, that's a different, there's more leniency there. Because I think that goes back to that relationship, that conversation we had around, we expect more out of the people we date, and our friends can get away with a lot more than the people that we date can. And it's not in a bad way necessarily, but it's just like, those aren't the people that we're pouring into day in and day out. Like, yeah, we pour into each other. Yeah, we have conversations, but we're not in high school where we're texting and calling and doing, we're at a different point in life. But the people you date, baby,
it's like, if I gotta marry you and be up in the same house with you, like, you need to be doing things correctly,
right?
All right, I need to like you as a person, like. Anyway,
yeah. So, yeah,
that is funny.
I feel like we touched on a lot of different things, kind of related, but
it started with the DMs. Clearly, it goes down in Clarke's DMs.
Well, no, we changed. Is that how it started?
Yeah.
Because after her mic came back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cut.
And that kind of wrapped a few things into one.
But the friendship happened in the DM, right?
No.
I assumed that happened in the DM.
No, she texted me. She texted me about that, and yes, I was telling y'all about that. then that's what got to the people coming back into our lives. And then, like I said, somebody slid in my DMs trying to like come back. But then he was like, I'm not trying to come back like that. I just want to chill. I just like your energy. And that's what I'm like, I really like that when people can look back on experiences with me, that they are positive experiences, they are good vibe experiences, they are good energy experiences, they, you know, all of that positivity. I love that. But then it's like, as you said, I look back and I'm like, well, what did I get out of that? And I'm like, I'm really in a phase right now in my life where I'm like, I need reciprocative relationships. Because if it's not symbiotic and we're like pouring into each other, platonic, intimately, any of it, I don't want it. Like, y'all ain't about to power trip me. I'm good on all of it. Okay.
Oh, you asked how?
Yes. Yeah. If you were to approach somebody sliding in their DMs, what would be the proper way that you would want it to happen?
Wait. So is this a two-part? If we were to slide, and how we would want someone to slide?
Sure. Because is the way you slide in somebody's DMs the way you want somebody to slide in your DMs? Like, how does that happen? Do you slide in people's DMs?
No.
No.
So if someone rolls the ball first, I might start dribbling a little bit. Might take a shot or two. I'm gonna leave it at that.
But other than that, you were not initiating.
Other than that, I'm not an initiator with the sliding into. Well, I'll say a hard eyes, you know, a respond to the story to start a conversation, because I'm a test the temperature, you know, type of person. So I need to see, like, if it's probably gonna be more like a story response, mm-hmm. Like, let me just have a conversation. And then if you keep trying to have a conversation, I'm like, oh, you digging me, right?
Yeah.
But if you're like, yeah, today was cool, bye, I'm like, hey,
we wouldn't get along anyway.
You don't like me. Or if you just leave me on red, you know, like, that's...
Okay, leave it... I have so many thoughts.
We'll cut that, too.
Shanice.
Oh, I was just gonna say I kind of lied. At one point, it was a very unfortunate part of my life, and I was drinking wine, like a nice dark red wine, every weekend or something, and I became a shooter shoots girl, like you know, and people would respond. It wasn't like I was just throwing them out there for every single person, but like I would get responses, but it would just the next morning I'd be like, why would I do this? So yeah, no, I don't. As of now, I am a reformed Instagram girl. I do not.
That is so funny. Wait a minute. Okay, what makes you wake up the next morning like I shouldn't have done that? Is it because you didn't get the response you wanted, or
I just became it was like I gave 0 Fs. I don't know if I want to curse yet. Yeah, like I was just like, you know what, whatever. What if they say something, they say something. If they don't, they don't. Da, da, da. But then it's just like,
but then why?
Yeah, like it was just more like sport. It wasn't like I was really
interested.
Yeah, it was just like a sport, something to do, like attention. I needed some attention, and I was trying to get it, and I got a little bit of it, and I was wake up the next morning like, girl, you know. So, yeah. I wanted to correct myself. So in case anybody listening to me like, well, she's letting my DMs.
Oh, weak.
There was an unfortunate part of my life. I was going through some things.
That is not unfortunate. That is just a moment.
It is just a moment.
Yeah, right. That's okay.
I was living wild, young, and free.
Grace.
Yeah. I don't regret it.
Please don't.
Maybe I do, actually. But, you know.
No regrets. No regrets.
No regrets. I will say, the older I get, the less I care about, like, well, one, I'm not shooting shots for real, but like the less I care about rejection, like the idea of rejection. Mm-hmm. It's like if I were to shoot my shot and it missed, it's like, okay,
you weren't the one. I'm one step closer.
Right. Like I have an entire life outside, like, you know, like it's not I feel like in my younger days I would probably like sit with something like that more and be like, oh my gosh, like, this person doesn't like me or whatever. But like, I feel like at this stage, it's like, who cares that much? So shoot your shot. You never know what can happen.
And that's my thing. Like, it's a numbers game. You never know. And especially with the way I be hearing these men talk, like, there are definitely men out here who be like, well, I just pick who pick me because I don't know if I go out. I get a
That is
confidence
very
thing.
raggedy.
It's so raggedy.
Let's not even talk about it.
For
But
anyone to
for
just only pick who
anybody,
picks
thank you.
Yeah.
You don't go after what you want.
Look at y'all.
Go after what you want.
Because I really wholeheartedly believe in that. And guess what? If they say no,
Oh well.
Right.
but you don't know until you ask. How many people have like asked and been like pleasantly surprised? Like, oh, you do right. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Like, you don't know until you ask. And that's with anything. As my mom says, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Like,
Hey,
you don't know unless you
that's
ask.
a new one.
Wait, the squeaky wheel gets the oil?
Yeah, that's literally
Okay.
that one.
Like,
That was tea.
okay. But that is a huge point. Like, you never know unless you ask.
Mm-hmm.
I say this all the time, and I learned this from a person in the past, but they used to always ask. Actually, a couple of people that I've been close to, and like, they're just the type of people who will ask for whatever. It could, like, they'll go in the store and be like, "Can I get your employee discount?" And they have gotten it. I've seen it. I've been there. Okay? Or like, I'll have friends that'll be like, can we sit here in your section? Or can we do this? Can we do that? Can we get in for free? Sure. Oh, well, all right. You know what I'm saying? So you never know. And the worst that could happen is somebody says no. Okay.
Right.
Like, how much are those no's like
Right.
really changing your
Right.
life? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So, and even like the other day I was at work and the power was out and they wanted us to stay at work initially. And at first we were just going to stay at work. And then I was like, do we have to stay here? And at first they said, yeah, you do. 2 minutes later, I get a phone call, and they're like, you know what? You can go home. I said, great.
Right, because what are we doing here without
What are we doing?
The
I
power's
can't
out.
help anyone, you know? So I am an advocate for asking for what you want.
Sorry.
No.
This damn laptop is... Okay, well, at this big age, if you're going to slide in my DMs...
Shoot.
They say shoot, which I'm never wrong. Like, not never wrong. Never mad at it. I'm never mad at somebody. Shoot your shot, sweetheart. Please do. I'm very likely to say no, but I still want you to shoot your shot. It depends on who you are. You know what I'm saying? Number one. Number two, how you approach. I'm not a small talk girl, so you need to. Hey, how are you? You know, I'm say exactly what you need. Tell me who you are, what you need, what you want. You want a relationship? You just looking for a fuck buddy? What you looking for? What you want? Tell me exactly what you need, what you want. You want to meet me? Tell me you want to meet me on Saturday. Like, I need it all laid out.
She wants your autobiography.
Just so she can say no.
Right. Send her your autobiography.
No,
Then
because-
politely decline.
No. Because if you be like, hey, my name is Brian, you know, I've been following you for a minute, I really like your vibe, want to get to know you better, I'm looking for a relationship, whatever. Say it. Like, don't be, hey, how are you? How's your day going?
Yeah.
None of that.
Don't do
I don't
that.
want small talk.
Yeah,
don't
because then I'm
small
like,
talk.
maybe you're just being friendly.
Yeah.
Like, you're just being.
And then you're annoying sometimes
Yeah.
too. Because they don't,
Yeah.
the ones that do that, they always keep doing
Yeah.
it. Like,
Right.
ooh.
Talk about
They
it.
never get to the point because they're just hoping that you realize they're trying to talk to you.
Yeah,
No.
don't do that.
And now I'm getting annoyed because I'm like, you didn't have to go through 10 messages. All you had to say was, hey, my name is, I like you, da-da-da. Yes or no. You don't even have to waste all that breath and that energy. I could have told you no 5 messages ago.
Just be like, okay.
Or
well,
yes 5 messages ago. You never know. But
Clearly, we see what the common response is.
Right. I feel like for me, just be like, I don't know, what's your relationship status? And then I'll tell you, and then be like, okay, would you like to go get dinner? Or would you like to go out this Friday? Or I don't know. If you're cute. Now, if you're... No, I'm just playing.
No, it matters.
It does matter, but I get... Maybe that's more a route of somebody that you know. I'm thinking of, like, you kind of know them through passing or social media. Social media, I mean, like, if I only know you through social media, you're a stranger, I would say just compliments, you know? Like, compliments lets me know that you like what you see. And then if I compliment you back, you might be in the good. If not, then just know I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
And do some research. Not like, you don't have to research a person, but just like, if you saw me post somebody 2 days ago, why are you in my DMs?
I am weak. Cause shoot is shoot, and I don't give it. Don't let your Don't let your wife stop you from finding your girlfriend.
You know. And on that note, shoot a shoot. Shoot a shot.
Do not ever shoot your shot in my DMs if you have a girl, a babe, not a babe, a girl, a fiance, anybody that you are in any kind of committed relationship.
If someone thinks they're in a relationship,
do not talk to me.
Don't talk to
if
me.
someone thinks that they're in one with you, do not talk to me. Okay, I don't have the time.
I don't need someone coming to me as a woman.
Yeah, because that's happened before, and I don't appreciate that.
No, don't. And yeah, seriously, if you in a situationship, you need to find out. What if somebody approaches you, poly, and they're like, "Oh, my girl knows."
Why didn't your girl hit me up?
No. Not trying to bring you into the throuple, but like,
they
like
just,
oh no, I can do what I want.
I'm not in that place of my life currently. So yeah, I'm
trying to figure
honored,
out.
but no thank you.
Yeah. Love that for you.
Love that for you. Love that.
What about you, Clarke? You didn't answer.
Right. She said, heck yeah.
Right. We gave our answers off that. She gotta concentrate.
She said, well.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm not opposed to poly. Let me first say that. Throuple or polyamory, so where you have like multiple relationships. I think there's a proper way to do all of it. I'm not opposed to the lifestyle in general, though. However, where I am right now in my life, I'm just looking for one person. I don't want to be one of yours. I don't want you to be one of mine. Like, I just want a person.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Just one.
That's all I need. I have enough personalities
Literally.
for you to.
I've got plenty.
Be
Don't you worry, my dear. Which one would you like to see today?
You might see 3 in a day.
Literally.
Everybody do what they do. Let me see here.
We'll all be wearing the same outfit.
Now, once me and my man get together, if I feel like having a girlfriend, then we could do that. But I'm not opposed to thruples. I think thruples are super cute when it's all done correctly and when
How do
the
you feel
energies
about
match.
Neo? That's a crime.
The singer.
Yeah. He has 3 wives.
4 now, I think. I think he just added one.
And they all seem to get along. I think my problem, it's not done correctly when women are doing it because they just want to do it for their man. Like, again, if I'm talking about like a whole throuple situation. Like, if you don't actually like girls, to me, there's no point in you being in a throuple situation because I would want a girl who actually like girls so that we're all mingled. We're all interconnected in this relationship. Right. It's not like he's with you and then he's with me. Like, I don't want 2 separate relationships. This is one big relationship. We're here. We're all locked in. We all like each other. You like me as much as I like you. You like him as much as you like me. Like, it's all equal. Nobody's jealous. I don't have time for no jealousy energy. I don't got time for that. I saw her morning. I don't have time for none of that. Like, if you're a jealous girl, leave it alone. But as far as Neo, they all seem to be getting along.
I don't know their interaction.
I don't either. But when I see them, they all seem to be like,
taking pictures together.
yeah, they
I
all
didn't even
seem
know
to
they
be
were all
vibing.
married.
Yeah.
I thought it was like just girlfriends or something.
No,
Wait, like
Not legally,
sister
right.
right? I'm like, they're just sister wives.
I don't know. They have rings. It can't be legally.
Right.
But he made them all his wives. That's what you're saying because you saw that how her ring.
I wonder how.
I think so. I need to look again, but
I wonder how his ex-wife feels about it.
I know I saw her recently talking about stop telling my kids about your colleague life because it's disgusting. So.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Guess that tells you how she feels.
Yeah. I mean, there it is. There's the answer.
Yeah. But as long as everybody's happy, that's my
Yeah.
thing. Like, as long as everybody's happy, like I said, they all look like, mind you, social media isn't real, and people only tell you what they want you to know. So
Right.
I don't know what I don't know in that situation. But when they post, all the girls always seem like they're into each other, like they seem like they're into him. So it seems like a
it
well
sounds like
rounded situation.
best friends all married at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
From the pictures.
From the pictures. Right. Don't just be doing it just because your man wants you to do it, because you're never going to be happy in that type of situation. You're going to regret him and resent him.
Yeah.
and
That's crazy.
that ain't gonna keep
anything
no
for a
man.
man.
Right.
Right.
For anybody.
Right. But specifically not a man.
Specifically.
Right. A threesome
'Cause
ain't gonna fix your situation if
Right.
you
No.
don't like girls. If it ain't working
what they
out.
want to
Like,
do.
And even if you do like girls, the threesome ain't gonna fix your situation if you only want one person.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of nothing can
Right.
fix a relationship except that you
Right.
and that person. Like
Right.
if someone's not willing to change for you, scram.
Literally. But that goes back to the topic we were talking about earlier, confidence.
Yeah. Cause I'd be ready to be like, drop. But yeah, so now I'm becoming a new person.
It's okay to drop.
It is, but you shouldn't just drop everyone.
Drop.
What are your deal breakers?
Ooh.
Deal breakers.
Like what are you
What
dropping people
non-negotiables?
for? Right.
I think I like that wording better. Non-negotiables. Because people can break a deal breaker.
No, that's why they're called deal breakers.
I've seen people break deal breakers and stay with the person.
Oh well,
who
see,
broke a
they
deal breaker.
make real deal breakers.
Yeah, that just wasn't a. But yeah, it's.
To me, a deal breaker
it's
is a
what it is.
non-negotiable. Like this
Yeah.
is like, you know.
I feel like so mine are mostly like in a relationship because it's hard to think of like what are my deal breakers outside of a relationship.
Mhm.
Because I just know, like when I see people, I be like,
Yeah.
So it's hard to know, but once I get to know you, is when I'm like, okay, now I know what my deal breakers are.
Mhm.
Well, I know what they are, but it takes you being closer to me to even get to a place that
Yeah,
I have
I
those
feel
deal
that.
breakers.
I feel that. Situations show you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because it's not. If you have like 7 kids, I'm already not about to talk to you, so it's not like that. I don't consider that a deal
Why?
breaker. Because I don't.
Because she don't want to deal with your 7 kids. It's that simple.
No, like, or you're mean to your mama, like, or mean to the waiter and stuff. It's like you already irritate me.
You're
Like
not
you,
a decent human being.
yeah, you
Right.
can't even get close enough to me to like, So that's why I say the deal breaker thing. I see that immediately. As far as in a relationship, I'm like, I don't like when people are very selfish in relationships. Like that, it's hard for me to deal with. So I feel like things that I would leave in a relationship is if you're like extremely selfish, you're a liar, you're a cheater, and I mean abusive. Obviously, like I hit back first of all. No, it's like,
You will die.
you will die. But thankfully, I don't have to worry about that, or I haven't had to, and I pray to God I never do. But yeah, that would immediately know. What else? Yeah, and you don't know how to communicate your feelings. You're very like emotionally unintelligent and can't. I struggle to I don't want to say I struggle to express my feelings. Because I express them just intellectually. But if you can't express to me how you feel, like how I'm bothering you and vice versa, like if I'm telling you all the things that you're doing that bother me and you have nothing to say to me, but you have this resentment towards me, I'm like, what you should have been able to communicate that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I could be working on those things. But
Right.
if I love you, I'm a
Right.
bend over backwards.
Yeah.
And I want someone that's going to do the same for me. So those are mine. What are yours?
Deal breakers. Or non-negotiables.
They are essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
Definitely self-awareness. I
Mm-hmm.
need you to be self-aware. I need you to be accountable. I feel like if you would have asked me this like an hour ago, I wouldn't have been able to tell you. But now it's like my brain is scrambling. Those are very important to me, just because it goes to like what you're saying. Like, I need you to be able to tell me what you need. I need you to know how to properly communicate. If something bothers you, I need you to know that we can talk about it and we can sit down and we can discuss that. The abusiveness, yeah, can't deal with that. Yeah. If anything else pops up, but I think those are the major things. Like, I definitely can't deal with lack of communication. I can't deal with lack of self-awareness. I can't deal with somebody who's not accountable. I just, everything else we could probably work through and build upon, but those things, like, if you don't have that off gate, then if you don't showcase those, I can't deal with it. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I feel like there's not much more to say. I definitely feel like especially getting older, communication. If we can't communicate effectively, what are we doing? Like, that has to be a big one. Reciprocation. I need there to be reciprocal energy. I can't just be pouring. To watch your person continuously pour, and you just receive, and you not even try to be like, oh, wait.
Right.
Let me try. Like, I'm overflowing because this person is just pouring into me, and then but you don't take the time to give even a drop back when they really deserve more than a drop. Because neither cup should run empty. But there is a time where someone's cup might have to run a little empty because the other person can't show up in that way. Like, we're all human. Things are gonna happen.
Ebbs and flows.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but we should never go completely empty if you're in a committed, serious, and loving relationship.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah. So
Reciprocative energy.
Yeah.
that's probably the only, like, not the only, but communication, reciprocal, like, and honestly, just being a good, decent person. Like, if you aren't a decent, well, first off, we wouldn't even be in the relationship. I'm sorry, but like, you wouldn't have gotten past the literally, like, we could have been on the first date and you were rude to the service person. Oh, sorry, I don't do that.
Can't do it.
Like,
Oh my
no,
goodness.
like, no. But yeah, it's also the self-awareness piece for sure. Like, because if I'm constantly being like questioning your actions and you don't see anything wrong with your actions, no. So
I love all of that.
Consideration. Or being
The
considerate.
consideration.
Yes.
Like, I feel like as women, and maybe I don't want to get women-y, but like, as women, we tend to be like more, well, where was I going right now?
Nurturing, consideration.
Oh, the consideration. I lost my whole train of thought. Sorry. Consider like someone else's feelings and kind of like not even just their feelings, but the things that they need, like anticipating somebody else's needs. It's like I feel like I'm constantly like with everyone in my life, like anticipating like how is this going to make somebody feel? How is this like going to help your day? What do you need coming up? You know what I'm saying? Like, you need a meal. You've had a long day. Like, where can I take some of that burden off of you? But if you are in a relationship with a person who does not do those things back, it's like all you're get is just drain.
And I can do bad by myself. So
Yeah.
you get hit the dust.
because I can do this for myself.
It's like you're raising a child that I didn't push out. Like, I'm not adopting no kids. Like, I'm good. Like, that's literally raising a child that, as a grown man, I'm good on it.
Yeah, and I'll even say and add to that, I feel as though, and I lost my train of thought, and I'm finding it, but I feel like that, how I've understood that in my own like reflecting, I need a person who helps make life easier.
Yes.
And if you're making life is already hard enough.
Okay.
If you're making life hard, you got to go.
Yes.
You got to go.
Bring me the same amount of peace that I have by myself. Like if
If
you're
not
not
more.
adding to if you're not keeping me at the same level of peace I have without you, or adding to the peace that I have,
You don't need to be here.
Right.
scram.
Because I'm not lonely.
No.
I'm not that
no.
lonely. Like, I don't
I'll
need to accept
never
bullshit.
forget with Monet McMichael and Jalen Noble how when they first started dating, she was like, I'm home by myself, so if you're not adding, you can go. And I remember a response, he was like, I'm really good at math, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is when they were still,
That's
like,
so
flirting with the
cute.
idea of, like, they were dating. But I'm just like, first off, shout out to that queen, because she is far younger than me, and that was a word, okay?
Yeah.
Because, yes, you better be good at math, because, and not the subtraction kind, only the addition,
Only
okay?
addition.
Because if you're not adding,
Subtract
you need
out
to
the
be
nonsense.
subtracted out of my
Right.
life.
Literally. There's no place for you.
But also, not to like take this in turn, but I feel like to bring in the conversation of like men, I feel like if a man were to hear that right now, they'd be like, see, this is why, blah, 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 like, you guys need the attention, you guys need a certain caliber of man. But it's like, no, first off, understand, I would much rather be with someone who is building and still in the building phase and they are loving me correctly than to be with someone who's already established and they aren't showing up for me how I need to be showing up for. So I just wanted to make that clear because I don't want that to ever go like over someone's head, because you adding to my life doesn't have a price tag on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it could be nice.
It's definitely nice.
But it's not a price tag associated with it.
Right.
It's literally it's emotional, it's physical, it's spiritual, it's all of the things.
Yeah.
It's not just monetary.
Right. Figure out a way to properly close and open this thing.
Right.
We gotta find like a little
Back at it again.
Right. Back at it again on the comfy
You can follow me on Instagram. She is SheisClarkeJones.
Anna, ANA _ Marie, MARIEEE. Was that 4 E's? It's supposed to be 4 E's.
And Shaneecey, that's ShaneECey _. Thank you. Or is there no underscore? Actually, I don't remember. You'll find me.
Right. I'll tag you.
It's one of those.
Right.
Bye.
Clearly, we're millennials. Peace
We need
out.
a
picture.
yeah, the beginning picture.